This is my first entry. I don't know which way I'm supposed to look. Do I look that way? Do I look this way? Or do I look this way? So this is gonna be my second entry. Wait, I am not about to sit on my bed with my clothes. I gotta can't do that. So this is gonna be my second entry since I have manifested the apartment of my dreams for me and my children. And wait, the sun's coming through. I gotta open the window for a second. Just the way the sun is coming through right now, it looks so beautiful. Yes, I have to give thanks. I have to give thanks. So the first thing I want to acknowledge is being thankful, being full and being wholesome, and realizing that there is no self. We are a product of our environment. We are a product of what we're exposed to, and we're a product of the love that we have been able to experience in our lives. And with that being said, is we're not in this alone, and no matter how alone we may feel, no matter how lonely we may get, because that doesn't mean you're not lonely. You know, you can be in a crowd. You can be in a crowd of people and feel the aloneness because you don't have self-expression. And I'm not speaking on self-expression. I believe self-expression is very important because it's something, a dynamic that you have between you and yourself, the role that you play within yourself. But the dynamics with nature and the dynamics with society and the dynamics with the world, that is a continuating, that is a moving give and take. It's a moving combination of being whole. You know, being whole is what's important because you can be whole within yourself and then you have something to offer yourself and the others around you, and it's participating with those attributes that you're given that are positive attributes, the attributes that make you a good, loving person to yourself first and foremost. Because a lot of people, because they don't give the love and attention to themselves, they're angry and they don't even know how to focus on that anger in a positive way. When they focus on the anger, they want to activate the anger. They want to express the anger with activity that can be dangerous and unhealthy to themselves or others. That's a lot of self harming and self misunderstanding. So in order to see the things without having anger be the full motivating force, there has to be self acceptance. And that's regardless of what you had to go through to accept these things that's gone through. You know, sometimes you can accept something because it takes time to even comprehend that certain things actually happened. So that does take time. It takes self awareness. So I won't disregard self awareness and self liberation because I don't think many people even speak on self liberation. A lot of times, liberation is just seen as an opposing force outside of yourself. Let's speak on the opposing force within ourselves. Let's speak of the force that's within us that we can either use to benefit us or hind. I believe my mother used to say, hindered. Is it hindered? Hind? Not hind, because he is where you're trying to let someone know something. I think basically it becomes an obstacle. It becomes a challenge. It becomes a hinder, I think is what the word is. And we could become a hinder to ourselves. And the liberation that we have to experience first has to be within who we are as a person, because if we don't have that, we'll always have a reason to blame outside you know, variables outside opposition, but the opposition is within ourselves. And once we can conquer that, or once we can accept that, even if it's not conquered, let's say we accept it. Even though we accept that, we are on the road of recovering, and not even just recovering, because at this point you haven't even fully participated with having this. A lot of times this is something that you haven't even learned. If you haven't even learned certain things about yourself, it's not even like you're recovering it, you're discovering it. So discovering something about yourself is very important. So having wholeness is also being in tune with yourself, and not just being in tune with yourself, but also being in tune with the environment around you and able to adapt without putting yourself in a predicament where you will not be loving to yourself, or you will be, what would be another explaining it? You would be rough on yourself. Being rough on yourself could come through selfishness. It could come through ego. There's a lot of ways you can be rough on yourself. There's a lot of rich people that are rough on themselves because emotionally they haven't grasped the idea of wholesome being a participating dance, a flow of energy, a way of communicating with people that may not be rich. This person can offer you just as much as this person. And not everyone has a value. Not everyone has a price. It can just be out of pure honesty, love, respect. There's many virtues. And having money doesn't mean that those virtues come to you. Those virtues come to you from having self-examination and how your self-examination impacts the world and the people around you. Being selfish actually takes you away from yourself as well. Yeah, being selfish can take you away from yourself. So this is not about, here, let me finish my vlog with that. Okay, you say, okay, not yet, okay? Let's charge it. Wait till I'm done. And I said when I'm done, okay? I know, now you gotta wait. When I finish my vlog. Alright, let's sit down. Okay, you know, give it to you. Look, I want to get started. What is important is that you don't break the bond within yourself, because who you are as a person is important to you. It defines who you are. These are how you develop virtues. These are how you appreciate the transfer of, good heart. So having a good heart is very important. It's very important because it allows you to love yourself. When you become bitter and revengeful and regretful and very unsure and confused about who you are as a person or where you come from, the risk in that is that you can subconsciously hurt yourself. So, I'm not done yet. If you disrespect, I'm gonna let you use it. Yeah, it's a constant flow of interpretation and perspective also, because their perspective of yourself is important. Sometimes you can just live your life without actually considering who this person is that you are. And when it does happen, you might actually be taken aback. You might not want to accept that. You're not the same person to everyone. You're not the same person to everyone. You might be a great mom and not a good girlfriend, or you might be a great wife but not a good mom, or you might be a great coworker but a very insecure individual outside of the workforce. And I think, I'm not saying anything that's going to hinder you from progressing, from awakening, from liberating yourself. Because, like I said, the most benefit it will give you is yourself. And then you're able to, I don't want to say manipulate, because I think manipulate can be seen as something horrible, which manipulate doesn't have to mean horrible. It could just mean providing the growth structure needed for a certain situation. Because that word could be taken, it could be very political. I'll just use the word of developing. You can develop these attributes, these holy things about yourself. When I say holy, meaning this is a sacred part of yourself that you know can't be tampered with, that you know has to be valued beyond money. Which sends me back to the topic of how rich individuals doesn't mean that they're fully successful in every area of life. They could be successful with numbers. Numbers doesn't always determine your intention, what you're motivated, what you're motivated by. You know, some people are motivated by being selfish, and selfish comes from being fearful of the outside and not being able to acknowledge the inside. So you're constantly trying to protect the inside without understanding that you have to be a part of the outside because we don't come from ourselves. We come from nature. However, which way you want to, you know, take in and understand how that works. It's still nature. Until now, I understand technology is doing a lot. I understand, but we know the first, the first encounter is with nature. Yeah, I'm very hopeful. I'm beyond hopeful. I'm impressed. I'm proud. I'm totally, what's the word? Mesmerized. I'm mesmerized by my understanding of how my energy is important to me and how I don't even have to, how I've been managing. I'm really proud of how I've been managing. I'm really, really thankful.